I'm Liam from Stumptown. Today we're going to brew up a couple cups of coffee using the Chemex. You're going to need your brewer, filters, your fresh ground coffee, hot water, and something to stir your coffee with. When you're brewing with the Chemex, the first thing you need to do is get your filter ready, and you're going to want to make sure to preheat your brewer. If you don't preheat the brewer, all this glass is going to pull all the temperature out of your liquid as it's brewing, and you're going to end up with not only cold coffee, but it's not going to brew as well. You're going to want to set it in with the multiple folds towards the spout. So you've got the multiple folds and the single fold. Single fold's going to go facing away from the spout, multiple folds towards the spout. You're going to get your hot water. Go ahead and set your filter in there. And just make sure to get a nice even seal all the way around the brewer. And get everything not only fully saturated with water, but also really warmed up. The other thing you're doing is, it is paper. Any residual paper flavor, you're going to make sure to rinse that out by getting this rinse done. Go ahead and take any of the water in your brewer, and you can just dump that right out in your sink. A little trick with this, if you're doing larger amounts, it's nice to actually fold the filter towards the spout to make sure to kind of reinforce this area. That way your filter is not going to get stuck in this little breathing area and you don't have liquid spattering out as you're trying to brew your coffee. So I've got 42 grams or about 6 flat tablespoons of ground coffee. You can see it's ground kind of like kosher salt. Not too fine, but not too coarse. I'm going to get that all centered in my brewer, turn on my scale, get my water, and as I start this timer, I'm going to start pouring it up. And I want to put in about 150 grams of water. And just as soon as I do that, I'm going to give it a good stir to make sure there are no dry clumps. So start the timer and start pouring. Grab a little stir stick here and make sure I don't have any dry clumps throughout this brew. Now I'm waiting till it's been a total of 45 seconds before I start my second pour. When I start my second pour, I want to make sure I mix all the coffee and all the liquid back together. So I'm going to use kind of a wiggling motion, and then I'm going to gently spiral the volume up till I'm about a fingertip down from the rim. And that should read out at about 450 grams of water at that point in time. So a mix, the wiggle, 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 and then just a gentle spiraling motion. I want to hit any dark spots, kind of pull that back into the slurry and avoid anything that's particularly light. And there we are. Now I'm going to give it another 45 seconds or so. Once this timer reads 1 minute and 45, I'm going to go ahead and fill it all the way up till it's flush with the top of the brewer or just a little bit above. I want to get about 700 milliliters of water in there, and then I get to just walk away. The last part of this brew is amazingly easy because you don't have to do anything. You can go off, make your breakfast, or go attend to something else, or just have a personal dance party while you're waiting for it to all drain through. Make sure I've got enough water here. And here we go. Any grounds on the side, you want to make sure to mix that back in. And just like before, we're going to slowly, gently spiral around the brew and just gently bring that volume level up until I have that 700 grams of water at that point in time.
Hi. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yum, yum, yum. Smells so good. Goodbye.
The time has gone by. We're about ready to be done with our brew. So as soon as this hits the 4-minute mark, I should be pretty close to volume. The one thing I want to look at is that bubble. That's going to tell me when I've gotten to that 20 ounces. So since it's been 4 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. I can actually give it a couple seconds just hovering to make sure I've got enough volume. And then I'm just going to pull this off and let it drain into my sink. I've got 2 cups of absolutely delicious Chemex brewed coffee. Good luck.